and I like seeing Ian on the telly. He's what I would call a robust defender of socialist principles during COVID. I've noticed, Ian, that they always like to get you on with somebody who's a real right-wing pillar. For example, Boris Johnson tried to stay in there, and Ronald Liddell questioned him. Listen, comrades, one welcome, please, Ian Lavery.
Thank you very much. I'm absolutely delighted to be here. Was invited by a good comrade of mine's son, John Church, who John was the delegate at Bentley Colliery for many years, a big beast in the Yorkshire coalfield, the fantastic National Union of Mine Workers, and I met John's family at Durham last year. James, who said, would you be interested in coming to Doncaster for the May Day rally next year? That was in July last year, and I accepted basically immediately. And it was 3 generations, and young John's here as well. And I accepted it immediately, and since then I've been invited to Cuba for the May Day, and I've had to cancel everything. And come to Doncaster. It's a fantastic choice. Because Doncaster, it's got a fantastic history, an industrial history, a history in the trade union movement, and in the labour movement as well. The labour and trade union movement. Doncaster was a railway town. It had more miners here than most other areas and regions in the UK. I mean, it's built on coal, built on trade unionism, built on values, all because of the people who live in this region. And you know, it was Thomas Steele in 1899 who wrote the resolution to the TUC suggesting that we set up a Labour Party. He was a real woman. We set up the Labour Representation Committee in the first steps of getting more working class people into Parliament. And we have. And that's just a brief history of what this area is actually produced. You know, I'm a miner. I'm the chair of the Labour Party, but I'm a miner. I left school with very few qualifications. I left earlier than what I probably should have, for different misdemeanors. And I went to pit. And you know what? I want them times back again. Yeah. I want the times of when I left school back. I want that community spirit that was here in Doncaster. You know, it was fantastic. We didn't even need policemen, you know. Because when you went to work, you were policed by the people in the pit. There was that sense of respect. There was that sense of discipline. And that was that sense that in the communities which I've just mentioned, that people look after each other. And sadly that's disappeared somewhere. I want it back, man. I want that back in every single community. Because we live in a society that is absolutely fractured. We live in a society that serves the rich and the powerful and the influential to the huge detriment of those people in our communities. You know, when you mentioned the Orgreave Truth and Justice, it brought lots of memories back for me during the miners' strike. I was one of them statistics, and most of the statistics you read out. I was arrested a good number of times. I was in the police cells a good number of times. I was injured by the police a number of times. And you know what? It was the best day, best year in my life. Because we were actually standing up for something. The community came together. We knew that the coal industry was in great jeopardy. The miners' strike wasn't about greed, it wasn't about wages, it wasn't about terms and conditions. It's about the future of the communities up and down this country which relied on coal.
Exactly.
And that's what the miners' strike was about. I want that spirit back. Great to hear of Jenny before. A victory against Sodexo. You know, Sodexo, they're a French catering company.
Yeah.
They run HMP Northumberland.
Yeah.
They're a catering company. This is privatisation for you. They run a prison. They run the probation services in different parts of this country. So Gary, I'm delighted to be here in Jenny's company to know that I've had a victory. Ordinary people get nothing. And I mean nothing unless you fight for it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And once you get what you've earned, you've got to fight to keep it. And once you keep it, you've got to fight to progress. Once we stop fighting, comrades, we're finished.
Yeah.
Absolutely finished. And that brings us to today's society. You know, we're the 5th richest economy in the world. That means we've got bags and bags and bags of money. And as what's just been said before, we've got 4.1 million children in poverty. We've got nearly 2 million pensioners in poverty. We've got people in work as well as on welfare, using food banks to exist. We've got people on 0-hour contracts. We've got people on the minimum wage, whilst we've got executive officers on 10 times the wage of the Prime Minister. I mean, it's a broken society. And let me tell you, there's only one party that'll change it, and that's the Labour Party. I flirted in my youth, mainly during the strike, with different extreme left-wing parties. And I think, like Tosh, I think there's room to listen to what people have got to say. But it's making the change that counts. And for the first time in my life, I lived in Ashington, still live in Ashington, coal town, the biggest coal mining town in Europe. I might be out of Europe very shortly. Joke, by the way. And I forget what I was saying. I live in Ashington, the biggest coal mining town in the world. We had like 5 pits in the town itself. 5,000 to 1 pit. We had it. Again, I'm making apologies for wanting to bring back what we actually had. We're suffering greatly now as a consequence of austerity. The country structure, how do we put it right? How do we put it right? And the only way we can put that right is by remaining united. You can get people like me and these fantastic speakers coming the different events like this every day of the week. But unless we're prepared to do something ourselves when we leave the premises to try and ensure we get a Labour government, it fails. We've had elections this week. The Tories have lost nearly 1,400 seats. The Labour Party have lost 80 seats. The press are saying that both parties have been absolutely hammered. It's absolutely absurd, by the way. I didn't want to lose a single seat. And commiserations, and the heartfelt commiserations, because every single Labour councillor who was unable to hold up their seat. And my congratulations to the likes of Jack, fantastic. You people, we're winning a general election. We've got to get those keys for Downing Street. Because we cannot just be a party that rallies people and comes together and gets a membership higher than we've ever had before, 500,000 members, with great policies, the best manifesto since 1945 and 2017, and have great rallies and discussions, and this is what we'll do if we cannot get those keys. And we've got to get together, we've got to come united, we stand. Divided we fall. Unity is strength. And that means compromise on a number of issues. Brexit, I've got to touch on it. I've got to touch on Brexit. I've voted Remain. My constituency voted 70% to leave. What's more important is that we had a ballot. We had 17.4 million people voting to leave the EU. And my opinion of that is we've got to accept the democratic process. I'm a member of Parliament. I'm a member of Parliament. And I haven't got the right to overrule people in this room. I haven't got the right. Whether I think that leaving would be better, in my view, it's irrespective. We've got to listen to what the people say in the first place. We've got to deal with it. You know what? Most places are gone, it's fairly split. I spoke to two people on the table when I came in. One person voted leave, one person voted remain. Still great friends. And that's what it's got to be. We cannot allow, we cannot allow Brexit to rip the party apart. We've got to stop criticising everything and blaming Jeremy Corbyn for every single thing. And we've got to get behind Jeremy, the shadow cabinet, and the membership of the party if we're going to win what we need. And that's the keys to terrorism. So we've got, we've got a huge task, we've got a huge challenge. But as I mentioned before, the first time in my life, you can knock on people's doors and you can say, I'm from the Labour Party. Will you support me? And when they say, well, what do you stand for? You can actually say something. Because for years you'll knock on people, you might even know the individuals. They'll say, well, what do you stand for? And we used to say, well, we're not as bad as the rest, It doesn't work anymore. We've got to be prepared to speak to people, to talk to people, and what's more important, to listen to what people have got to say about their own communities and what they want, not what we want, what they want. We can't just knock on their doors and say, I'm Ian Lavery from the Labour Party. What did you vote for last time? All right, are you voting this time? Thank you. See you. You've got to talk about
Exactly.
living standards. You've got to talk about housing. You've got to talk about things that interest in their communities. Things that actually impact upon themselves and their families and the community itself. And you've got to be prepared at times to have difficult conversations. And one of the most difficult conversations we need to have at this moment in time, let me tell you, is the rise of the far right.
Yeah.
And I know people in Doncaster have experienced this in the past, and we're going to make sure we defeat in every
Exactly.
doorstep anyone who perpetuates the values of the far right. We've got to tackle them, we've got to challenge them nose to nose if that's what it takes. Because we've got a lot of poison in society at this moment in time. And we've got to make sure that the likes of Farage, I mean, who honestly thinks that Farage is this working class fantastic individual?
Exactly.
Likes a pint and sits in the pub and laughs with people. What? How will, I mean, am I daft? I mean, who believes this? He's a banker. I said banker. He's a banker. He's made millions through the financial institutions of this country. He'll not be wanting, he'll not be looking when he gets kicked out of the European Party. He'll not be looking to be on universal credit. And yet people are caught by it. But also all these other far-right figures, they're not skinheads with Doc Marten boots on with swastikas tattooed on the foreheads anymore. Normally well-dressed individuals, a lot of them well-spoken, and not enough of them have got milkshake dripping down. We've got to tackle that really, really ever-increasing problem with racism. We were discussing, and everyone more or less mentioned the Extinction Rebellion. I might be different to other people in this room. I might have different views. I probably have, but I'm going to tell you the anyway. I was pleased to see that people were prepared to stand up for the planet. It is great. It is great to see young people as well. The school strikes, absolutely first class, and we've got to get behind them. But I'm going to say this. This country was built on coal, built on fossil fuel. It was built on the hard work, graft of the miners of this country. The miners of this country fueled the Industrial Revolution. The miners of this country, many of them paid the ultimate sacrifice. Many women were widowed and kids were orphaned to make sure the great was put into Great Britain. And we've got to phrase this right, because it's people in communities like Doncaster, like where I live, we've got to convince of the change to the green environment. And that's a really difficult job unless we begin and honestly always recognise the hard work and endeavours of the people that went before. And it takes note to say we know what happened all those years ago. Coal fueled this country. Working class people built this country. Broken bones and plenty of blood built this country. But it's time that we moved on. But we remember what's happened. I'm delighted and would be happy to see renewable energies replace the the fossil fuels. But you know what, at this moment of time I must remind people that we still import 50 million tonnes of coal in this country.
Yeah.
Working underground.
Yes, exactly.
Lied to us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So whilst we've got to move on, we've got to save the planet. We've got to respect what's went before, because I sometimes get the feeling, I've got to say this, I sometimes get the feeling that when we see these protesters, many who never protested before, when they get in front of the TV cameras, it's as if people like me and people who I've worked with in generations of coal miners are being scapegoated for the planet the way it is. You know what? Couldn't be further from the truth. And I just want people to recognise that that's the case. Blood, bones, death created Great Britain. So whilst it is time to move on to the different types of energy sources which we'll all need, just remember there isn't any scapegoats here. Really isn't any scapegoat. Now that's a difficult thing to say, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart, because I'm from a mining community and I've seen what's happened. So let me get back to the Labour Party. You know, that manifesto in 2017, absolutely first class. And you know, we're only that far away from winning the general election in 2017. Had we not had the problems within the PLP and the attacks on Jeremy, regardless of the fact that he had won we would have won that election. And we would be able to be putting in place what we promised in a manifesto. Because we've got to put lots of things right. Local government, you know, 60 pence in every pound has been withdrawn from local government. We've got a huge challenge in order to put that right. It is places like Doncaster which have suffered the most. Labour heartlands have suffered more. There's been money taken away from the areas where have been disenfranchised, left behind, held back, whatever you want to call it, and monies have been given to the shires, mainly into the more affluent areas, Tory areas. We've got to look at workers' rights. We've got to look at ensuring that we've got a society where young people aren't waiting for a telephone call or a text on a Monday morning for a 0-hour contract. The first one to text back. As being said, we've got to rebuild society because it's totally and utterly fractured. We've got to look at affordable homes. I'm in big style for council housing. And our people call it social housing because I think council housing's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
I'm happy calling it council housing.
I am.
Absolutely. And we can provide decent housing for people. You know what? We've got homeless people. When you look, have a look at Doncaster tonight, you'll see that many people lying rough on the streets. It's unbelievable. You know what happened in this country? The 5th richest economy in the world. You know what happened 4 weeks ago? There was a man in London lying in his sleeping bag, dead. And his dog was sitting next to him, whimpering. The police came. They couldn't identify this individual. They didn't have any money, they didn't have any cards. They couldn't identify him. The way they identified him was with the collar around the dog's neck. What sort of society? You know, it's absolutely fractured. How on earth did the Tories in some areas, like I said, how on earth does anybody, or how on earth can anybody vote for the Conservative Party when we've got such a broken, fractured society? It's unbelievable. But socialism will shine through. And that isn't any doubt. I want to say this about Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn is the most remarkable individual I've ever met. I've always been a lefty, and I'm proud of being a lefty. And I'm not here to convince anybody else that there should be a lefty or there should be a Corbynista, but I'm going to tell you the way it actually is. And Jeremy, I've known him for 30 years. And 4 years ago, if somebody had said to me, well, who could be the next leader of the Labour Party? And we went through, if we had, it didn't happen back then, but if we had went through the list and put them in order, I would have Jeremy like 300, the last one. Honestly. But to work very closely with Jeremy. He's got the aims, the values,
humanity,
that everyone here believes in. Of course, humanity. Of course, he's a man. To see him attacked for anti-Semitism, I think is having a real impact on him. Because one thing Jeremy Corbyn isn't is anti-Semitic. He's fought causes that nobody in this room would have ever heard of, whether they be regionally, nationally, or many international causes. He's the most honest, decent man I've ever met. And I find it very difficult. I'm telling you personally that he finds it very difficult with these attacks. His family find it difficult. That's why we've got to get behind Jeremy Corbyn. What we've seen even this week, I think Tosh mentioned Labour MPs blaming Jeremy for what's happened in these elections. I mean, it doesn't matter what happens. Jeremy's to blame. Jeremy's to blame for this. Jeremy's to blame for that. Comrades, I'm going to conclude simply by saying I'm delighted to be here. You know, you get the feeling. You get the feeling when you're among the people. You get that feeling. And I'm delighted to be here, but I want to rekindle the spirit of the former mining communities. I want nationalisation on a big scale. Let me just say, we had a coal industry under nationalisation. We had, for young people coming in, proper apprenticeships. 5-year apprenticeships on the Pick Point and in college. Pick Point College paid properly. We had the best skills which could be used right across the world, whether it be mechanical, whether it be electrical, whether it be surveying, whether it be bricklaying, whether it be mining itself. We had this under nationalisation. We had disabled people working at each colliery. People who would find it very difficult to get jobs elsewhere. But because we were nationalised, we're able to ensure that they were meaningfully employed. We had decent wages. We had decent terms. Although it was always brilliant to be on strike for more. We had union recognition. We had the closed shop. And I want to bring these days back. I might be an old lefty now. I might be a veteran of the miners' strike. But I want to take all the good things that we had and bring them back. Because I think we're losing a lot in society. So keep up the fight. United we stand, divided we fall. Unity.